The Divine Declaration of the League of Melanated Sovereigns. The League of Melanated Sovereigns hereby declare the following self-evident revelations to be the inalienable status and endowments of all melanated beings. When in the course of human events it becomes imperative to the preservation and continued existence of an enslaved people to destroy and dissolve the illegitimate bonds which have held them captive to another, and to demand for themselves recompense for the violations against their existence upon the earth, and to proclaim their sovereign status, that it is the obligation of the melanated sovereign to separate from such an association created by force and continued by slavery. We thus confirm these facts to be the universal laws of nature. All men come into earth through seed and womb, that by the passage of birth man is born an individual sovereign entity, endowed by the divine ground with immeasurable, incalculable divine endowments, which are, but not limited to, freedom to rule and govern one's own self and affairs, freedom from any self-proclaimed superior power or legislative authority of any man or group of men, to have only the law of the universal conscience as his guiding rule, to have a portion of the earth, its resources, comforts, and allowances as his own, that governments of flesh and blood are not capable of securing such inalienable endowments, that nature and nature's cause is the sole and rightful owner of the earth. We declare that when such illegitimate institutions arise from the earth by way of greed and ambition, in the ignorance of men, of unnatural constitutions, becoming destructive, tyrannical, despotical, and totalitarian, it is the duty of the enlightened to abolish, throw off, and proclaim our inalienable divine sovereignty. And after having done so, it is the way of the sovereign to erect the natural constitution of mankind, which is divine sovereignty, such a way being founded on laws of nature and self-evident facts concerning man, organizing itself in such a form that to them shall be most beneficial in the procuring and securing of their sovereign status. All history has shown that mankind is predisposed to revolt and remove the chains of monarchies and governments when evils are exposed and recompense is demanded. The annals of the records of mankind are richly decorated with revolutions against oppressive kings and regimes. Mankind is not disposed to suffer through the violations of their sovereign nature. When centuries of organized usurpations and atrocities created in the wound of the mind conjures a design to reduce mankind to perpetual slavery under absolute despotism, it then becomes the obligation of mankind to hold accountable, to condemn those responsible, and to demand recompense from the institutions created as the tool of such oppression. We show just cause for war, recompense, and separation, and lay these charges against the bourgeoisie, the Catholic Church, the European monarchies, and the American 13 colonies for violating the sovereignty of mankind, illegitimate seizure of lands and peoples outlined in the 1493 papal bull Inter Caetera, forced religious conversion or death, slavery, human ownership, genocide, psychological warfare, and perpetual slavery, as outlined in the bull Romanus Pontifex, written by Pope Nicholas V in 1455. We do therefore this day, October 19, 2023, announce our separation from America and hold them as enemies of liberation and oppressors of nature. We, the League of Melanated Sovereigns, solemnly publish and declare that all humans are by divine intent free and sovereign, that we reject any allegiance, law, demand, or expectation of America in all its political and contractual affiliations. We have full divine authority to abolish any government that places itself as our rule of law, to declare war, to contract alliance, establish commerce, and do all other acts that we find necessary to preserve and protect our sovereignty from further violations. The only law that we are obliged to obey is the law that we create, the League of Melanated Sovereigns.